Hello party people, it is Will Pemble. I am back in the garage and I am still working on this crazy fire-breathing dragon concoction that I've got going here. So I have with me my solenoid, which we reviewed in a previous video. I've got a little bunch of bits and pieces of copper pipe that I'm going to turn into something quite soon. Pipe cutter, 6-volt battery, I'll use that later. Some brass fittings to connect various bits and pieces together, solder, flux, more bits and pieces. So I'm going to chop up a couple pieces of pipe and we're going to get started, and then I'll show you where I'm going with all of this. So what I want to do here, right, here's our cart, and you've seen this a bunch of times, and then these are the dimensions. These are the dimensions of the framework that's going to be inside the cart, and then the dragon will be built over it so that it's really cool. But I know, for example, that the back of the cart frame, the actual frame of the cart, is going to be 20 inches tall. This whole thing is going to be 60 inches long. And I also know here that moving forward, this distance is going to be 20 inches wide. So I can pretty much assume that the nostrils of the cart are going to be about, the nostrils of the dragon are going to be about 20 or 18 inches apart. So what I want to do is I want to figure out a way to get these two pieces of pipe to be about 18, somewhere between 18 and 24 inches apart, and that's where the nostrils of the dragon are going to be, and that's where the fire's going to go out. All right, so what I'm thinking of doing is I'll come out of my solenoid, right, like this, into this little T, and then I'll have pieces of pipe that go out on either side, right? So out of the solenoid into a little T, and then I'll have a piece of pipe that goes out this way, and another piece of pipe that goes out this way, and then an elbow, and then an elbow, and then if I need any more pipe to go up there, I will. But basically that's kind of really simply how the thing is going to come to pass. And actually, I'll probably use these 45s because I don't want the dragon breath to go straight up and into the face of the passenger. I want it to go out to the sides of the cart, and so I'm going to use these 45s. And so I'll basically make a T and then a 45, and then I'll extend the 45 however long I need to or have to or am able to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make two 6-inch pieces out of my one 12-inch piece. The way you cut tubing is you tighten the little tubing cutter around it, you spin the tube until it gets easy to spin, you tighten it a little more, you spin it again until it's easy to spin, you tighten it a little more, you spin it again, and so forth. And then you have two little pieces, right? So I'm going to keep on keep on building my little contraption here. I want to make sure that these pieces, these two 45s, that they point up at the same angle, so that we're not having the dragon breathe all cockeyed. But so like right now, our solenoid is going to be pretty level in the cart, just because we're going to mount it that way. And right now, the dragon breath would go out and up in that direction. It's an entirely subjective thing, and if I get it wrong, I can melt this and reposition it and re-aim it. But there isn't any particular science that I'm going for here. The only thing I want to do is I want to have these things be kind of almost 18 inches apart. So I'll extend them using this. And I also want it pointing up and out and away from the passenger, right? And so if I were sitting in the cart, it would be up there. So I want the dragon breath going up and out and away from me. There is a rule at my house, which is that you don't play with fire unless I'm home. And then you can totally play with fire. All right, so now I'm gonna just sweat these little guys together here. Take my little thing. You want to get closer? Why should you have to stand way back there? This is where the party's at. All right. Okay. So this is solder. This is flux. This is a brush. This is flux, right? So flux knocks the dirt out of the way and it makes the solder adhere to whatever metal it is that you're soldering, right? It also lubricates the edges of the pipe so it makes things easier to slide together. And flux on this. If you have guessed that I don't do a whole lot of pipe sweating and plumbing and soldering and such, you have guessed correctly. I do not. But I do some. I have plumbed. All right, here we go. So you see how quickly the solder just jumped into that joint. The reason is I've heated up the big side, I've heated up this part of it, and the solder follows the heat. That's how solder works. All right. Now, what I don't know is how hot that thing is. What I do know is that this glove is hot proof. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna do the same thing. See? That's kind of cool, right? If you're thinking, hey, how come he doesn't show us the other one up close? It's because the other one up close I'm not as proud of. Sorry. So, you know, through the magic of editing, I try to make myself appear more clever than maybe I really am. Oh, look, there's our first fire breathing. And now I have to figure out exactly how to attach this piece, right? This piece right here onto that so that when it attaches, it's perfectly level. And so I'm going to do a little bit of figuring and then I'm going to mark it and then put that together and then I think we're almost done. Right. Fire! All right. So, here we go. Here is our here's the respiratory system of our fire-breathing dragon. Okay, so now what's going to happen next time is I'm going to use this fitting, right? This is going to go into this side and that's where our CO2 canister is going to connect. And then when we hit the solenoid, the thing will breathe fire. And just for fun, I got another kind of connector that I could use to run propane through this thing. So if we wanted to make something that actually breathed fire, we also have that capability, and you can be sure that we will test that in a safe and timely fashion. So that's all I've got time for today. Please tune in again tomorrow, and tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to connect the CO2 up to this thing and see if we can get it connected to the frame of the cart, and we'll go from there. A quick note about how the cart is going to get built. If you remember our awesome drawing here, what I'm going to do with this cart is I'm going to start at the top and build my way down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this red piece of frame, and I'm going to frame out the red piece of it. Then I'm going to put the respiratory system into it, and then we're going to build the underside of the cart and the wheels and everything. But we're going to do it basically from the top down. I've been building the thing from the bottom up. The last couple of coasters that I did, I built the track, then I built the cart, then I built the seat on the cart, and all of that was kind of the last thing was sort of the user experience. The last thing was the human being in it. But this one is being built exactly the opposite way. I'm building it from the experience backwards into the technology, so that the technology is all going to be designed to support the experience. That's what I've done my whole career in my professional life. Why have I been doing it backwards here? So this whole thing is going to be built to be fully awesome for the rider, and then we're going to bend the technology to fit that experience. So that's the point of this one. This is going to be a backwards design, or maybe a frontwards design, but kind of a top-down experience. That's the scoop. That's all I have time for today. Thank you for helping me bring physics, family, and fun to kids everywhere. Please like, please share, please subscribe. We are getting very close to having 10,000 subscribers on the channel, and that opens up a whole new world of possibility for us all. So please like and subscribe and get your friends to do the same. I am Will Pemble, and I will see you soon.